Hi guys, I'm Daniela Reynolds, and this is my critical autobiography. I am doing the video portion to practice my speech skills. I can tell you I've done this many times, and it has been over 13 minutes, so I'm trying to be better at having precise and concise speech. So basically what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to break down the talking points and answer the questions. So number one, identity. How do you identify with regards to race, class, gender, sexual orientation, language, or ability? What privileges do you have and or barriers do you face because of these identities? And then what are some key life out-of-school events that have shaped your views about social culture and academic identities? And so I am Hispanic and white. I'm mixed. Dad is from Ecuador. Mom is from Tampa, Florida. He's from like you, Ecuador. And then my class has mostly been middle class. Gender, I'm female. Sexual orientation, heterosexual. Language, I speak only English. And I have a ton of abilities, just like we all do. And even if you don't think you have a bunch of abilities, you do. And even if you learn more, you'll be surprised at what you're capable of. I would say I had plenty of privileges growing up. My parents really made that happen and worked hard for it. We started off low class, low middle class, living off government, dad having to work full time, go to school full time, and my mom working full time to just make ends meet for me at the beginning. And now with me, my three brothers, my family has managed to make it up to high middle class. And so they're doing awesome from just being faithful, well, just because of God, being providing and it's all his love and grace, but then also for them being resilient and dedicated and teaching and being hard workers, really gaining that American dream. And then barriers do I face because of these identities? Really none of them. I guess the only thing that I guess could be worth mentioning is that at the beginning I was trying to figure out how to fit into both groups of the American culture and the Hispanic culture, but that really wasn't even a big deal. The Hispanic culture, even though I didn't speak Spanish and I'm a little confused by that, embraced me fully, and then the American culture thought I was very Latina, so I really, it's a win-win there for both areas. And then, and again, none of these, I guess because I fit into the norm, I really didn't face any barriers or go through any kind of stereotypes or abuse, which is really sad that because you just are labeled based off of how you look or whatever class you're in, or if you're male or female, and then some people struggle with their identities, you are criticized rather than being assisted. What are some key life out-of-school events that have shaped your views about social culture, academic identities? I gotta give credit to my faith. I grew up in faith. I left it a little bit. I really left it as a teenager, but then as I got older, I realized who God really is and who Jesus is and the real character of God, and I realized that shapes really all of me. So if I'm talking about my identity, my true identity is in Jesus, because I can do all things through him who strengthens me. And in any circumstance, in any mental circumstance, any external circumstance, I've always conquered and overcame because of him. And so, key educational experiences. What are some key educational experiences that have shaped your views about teaching, learning, the role of an educator, and the purpose of education? Identify and discuss some positive and negative learning, teachings, experiences, and how they've shaped you as a learner and inform the type of educator you hope to become. So this one is kind of funny. I kind of sometimes am surprised at myself. I want to become a teacher because I never liked school. I always thought I was unintellectual or not smart. I wanted to do everything I could to get out of it. I even begged my mom to homeschool me because I hated school that much. And it wasn't until I was in college that I actually appreciated education and liked to learn. So most of my views were mediocre or negative. I had a really good few teachers throughout my education who were lovely and helped me a lot, but most of the time it was just mediocre. And so I want to provide students with something I never had, which is having quality tools and preparation and excitement for learning. I want them to be excited to learn how to read, even if it's a struggle for them, and have them be dynamic, and myself be dynamic in the ways of teaching based on what the students need. not being afraid to take the time with them and figure out dynamic ways to incorporate curriculum and to reach the standards required. And then social political context. I can't really explain much about this one. So this question is discuss some of the major social political movements and events that occurred during your schooling years, and then how, if all, do they shape or impact conversations, and how, if all, do they impact your experiences in schools or your visions for yourself as an educator or in your future roles. Really, I had no attention to this as a kid or as growing up through my educational. I guess I could say I can't really say anything about this topic because it really hasn't impacted me much. I wasn't really into social or political movements until I became an adult, and so I can't really see from my past how it would shape, but I'm sure it did. I can't pinpoint where. Journey into teaching your chosen career. Who/what shaped your beliefs about the goal of education, the role of teachers, and your vision for yourself as an educator? What key people impacted your experiences as a learner and piqued your interest in becoming a teacher or entering your chosen career? And what do you hope to accomplish as an educator in your future roles? So for that first and second question, I never had one person who was a teacher that I fell in love with, or one subject or anything. Really, if I'm being completely honest about this, I really have to say who/what shaped me is Jesus, is God, is my faith that has shaped me to be an educator. And I really look to the Gospels and Jesus as my example of an educator. And then practically, I love listening to Fred Rogers and his story. I love the research and the studies that we get to do in school, and furthermore, in understanding how to be better educational, what the key ingredients are, the active ingredients, such as relationships and simple interactions, how those are key to being able to help academic achievement, but not just academic achievement, but then preparing students in critical thinking and problem solving, and using these skills to teach reading, to teach math, to help them gain social and emotional skills and internal and be able to know how to handle internal conflicts or internal problems and external problems. So making sure that they are equipped for further education, societal life, corporate life, and internal life. So that is my goal, and that is my what I accomplish as a future educator. And all in all, making sure that it's student-focused learning, to focus on the students' strengths, to conquer their weaknesses, and to teach them the way students need to be taught. If we taught all students equally, it would not be equal. But if we teach students in different ways, we can teach them truly equally, because that's what students need. Anyway, thank you for listening. Hopefully this is shorter, 8 minutes. Woo! Okay. I look forward to doing class with all you guys and hearing your discussions. Bye!